when you decided to start your business, Everyday Manners, for a lot of people, that's a courageous step, stepping into something that because you saw there was a need there. How did you find that courage? Where did that courage come from?
Um, I think it was the desire to want to do something different. I've worked for a lot of different companies, businesses, organizations, and I never worked for myself. um, what would that be like? What kind of boss would I be?
Yeah.
And so I think it was that wanting to have some flexibility in my work life. At that time, my kids were in high school and I wanted to be available to them.
Mhm.
And I thought that would give me better options to be available. So figuring out what to do was harder, you know. Like, yeah, I'm gonna work for myself. I'm gonna start my own business. Let's do this. How do you do
Right.
that? What do I do?
Yeah. What do
and
I do
not and
first?
the
Yeah.
biggest thing is I don't know anything about business. So that was it was a challenge.
Sure.
I was gonna say that
And
the courage I think came from the support that I
okay.
had from my husband, from my children. Um, I think they had seen all that I had given throughout my career in social work, and they said, why don't you do something for you? Do something that really feeds you.
Sure.
Okay.
That's good.
I
No,
had
that's
thought
good.
that, but if someone else is thinking that for me, I'm like, okay, well, maybe I can't do this
Yeah, absolutely. Did you have anybody that kind of rolled their eyes like, oh, manners? Really?
all the time.
But
I
I think if
actually,
people would, I think people realize they see how rude people can be and disconnected. And with the COVID, I'm used to going into meetings with people, sitting around a conference table, talking, seeing the body language and the inflection. You feel the tension in the room when things are going on. Through Zoom, you lose a lot of that. And with social media, you can be anyone or anything you want to be. How are we ever going to get back to those manners that we knew growing up? How does that
right.
work?
Things are changing and they're changing faster than what we're ready for. Even the smallest thing like handshakes. And, I did a training once where we spent way too much time on handshakes, but people had so many questions, so many concerns about it.
Yeah.
But yes, this is definitely going to change how we see each other face to face and how we deal with each other. It's going to be hard. It was already difficult, especially for these last two generations that are coming up, for eye contact
Hmm.
and speaking up and asking questions, that sort of thing. So it's going to be even harder now. I think this COVID has given us excuses, maybe, to not have to do that.
Right.
Sometimes when you're on a Zoom, people don't even have their cameras on.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
like, are you even there?
Yeah.
And when you're talking, are you talking to the screen? Are you talking to the camera? Are you doing something else? And so it's important. And I think some people are on the other end of that spectrum where they're saying, oh my gosh, I did not realize how important it is.
Yeah.
So if you're the speaker on the screen and no one's looking at you, what does that feel like?
Or they're on their phone or something like that. I've had that before.
Right.
Mhm.
So there's definitely going to be a need for more training. I don't know what it's going to look like when we come out of this,
Yeah.
but technology was changing us anyway. So
Yeah.
we just have to kind of change with the times. But that does not mean that connecting with people isn't just as important, that
Sure.
developing personal relationships with people isn't just as important. It actually may be even more important now.
Yeah.